Hello and welcome to 10 Very Big Books, a Malazan read-through podcast. I'm India, and I have not read every book in the main series. But with me today, my friend and closest confidant, Peter, has...
Hello, India. Great to see you today. Hope you are well.
I am well, and thank you for asking, PB. Swinging it over to the sweetest angel with the biggest heart, Joshua Dean Baker.
Oh, I thought it was going to be AJ. I'm so honored.
I know you did. Now,
we all think you're a fucking asshole, Josh.
I don't think I know, so.
So excited to have you here. And last but certainly not least, my favorite on the podcast,
Nice.
AJ.
Hello.
We knew.
I'm here. Go Birds. This episode came out
Go
Friday
Birds,
after the
baby.
Eagles
Go
won the Super Bowl.
Birds.
I'm calling it.
After the Eagles win the Super Bowl, yes,
I'm
exactly.
calling it. They have won the Super Bowl.
I'm going to put it right now. It's going to be 36-24.
Okay.
Eagles.
All of a sudden, I'm feeling very self-conscious about the energy we're putting out on the show.
No, and I am putting a lot lot of money on that exact line, so.
That's right. We fucking love sports betting.
Yeah.
Not do
That's why
sports
that's why this episode's brought to you by DraftKings.
That's right, baby. We finally got the
first
sponsorship.
sponsor isn't like Book of the Month. It's fucking DraftKings. Could you
Yeah.
imagine?
DraftKings and then Raid Shadow Legends.
If there's one thing the Malazan community loves, it's fucking DraftKings,
They
baby.
love sports betting.
Great. Thank you guys for that awesome introduction. This is my episode, my
Yes,
way.
sorry.
Burger Queen. It's like a spin-off of Burger King.
Yeah, no, it's
You sent it today. It was really
good.
good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, here we do not talk about football. No. We are talking all about chapters 19, 20, and 21 of Dust of Dreams.
We do not talk about football. We talk about the birds. Go birds,
Go
baby.
Birds.
Inge, I did want to ask you just one quick question. I know you want to get into the show. I actually was
Sure.
listening to a recent episode where we discussed candy, and you guys were very mean to me. That came out recently, and on it there was a brief discussion of the green M&M, who rest in power, kind of a fallen feminist icon. And
I thought we outlawed rest in power from our personal conversations.
And India, I would be curious, who in the Malazan series do you think would be a feminist icon if she was wearing maybe sensible flats instead of kind of a heel, you know?
wow.
Feminist icon. I would have to
Insensible
say
flats.
Insensible Flats. I'm gonna go Dead or Alive?
Dead or alive.
Let's say, what was her name? Oh my goodness.
Idina Menzel. Is that joke too old?
She...
Yes.
Fucking ancient ass Josh on the show right now. All right, yeah.
Wait, I don't get it.
Do you remember when John Travolta botched her name at the Oscars?
Nadim Menzel.
Adele
Adele
Dazeem.
Dazeem.
That's
Please,
right.
Josh.
Okay.
I've never watched
Great.
the Oscars, so.
Whiskey Jack's girlfriend.
Oh,
Corlat.
Isn't it horrible that you're asking me who a feminine icon is, and a feminist icon, and I respond as some man's girlfriend that's dead?
Wow.
So that's something I'm thinking about. Corlat, feminist icon, love her.
I'm going to go with the whirlwind goddess, ending the world because of a shitty man, as is her right.
Powerful choice. The thing is this, I feel like you guys are all choosing characters that aren't relating to sensible flats, and I'm very...
Oh, I haven't picked one yet. I'm so sorry.
I'm very keyed into that.
Ooh.
Is she currently wearing the sensible flats, or she would be better in sensible flats?
She would be more feminist.
Well, let's not
in
try to
flats.
improve a woman
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, so what, AJ?
Chalice.
What, you don't want
Chalice?
women...
I was going to say
you're-
Chalice.
Oh my
I think
Chalice and
Tavor does a
sensible
lot of
flats.
walking.
I could see Tavor in sensible flats.
I didn't want to say Tavor because, like, it seems like the easy one.
It does.
100%.
Yeah,
It could be maybe to Amber.
Timber. How do you feel about Suckalandaloo?
Well, first off, I hate the name, and so I never want to
It's
think
also
about
just
them.
not how you say it.
Okay.
It's giving, Kilimanjaro's?
Okay.
Oh.
Kilmandaros in Sensible Flats is a
Sensible
really great
Flats.
image.
Yeah.
really great image.
She's a huge woman.
I think it would distract from the knuckles dragging on the ground. I think you would see these perfectly white flats and be like, oh, wow.
And the many joints in her elbows.
Well, yeah.
And maybe the
And
knuckles.
also just her breasts swinging on the floor. Do you see they swing?
It's all drawing to the sensible flats.
Sensible flats on the knuckles, maybe sensible flats on the boobs. You know what I mean?
On the nipples.
On the nips. Maybe many flats going on.
That would track as well, I would say, for this kind of character.
Fully have lost the plot of this conversation.
Not positive, but loving the energy as always.
Yeah.
Well, with that, how do you feel about us diving into chapter 19?
I have so much I want to talk about. I'm dying to get into it.
Let's go. Oops, splash.
Oh, you don't want to splash, AJ. You want more like a...
Sorry.
Oh, there we go. Good, AJ.
All right, I'm gonna make a
Peter,
splash.
can I hear your noise?
Are you even trying?
What? Okay,
was
let me
that?
try again. I'm imagining.
Okay. Thank you.
There you go.
Wow, that first one was awful.
Inge, take us in. Dive off the board.
Oh.
Lead us in.
Done.
Oh, melodic.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh,
All right,
last thing. Josh,
Oh.
yes, please.
I could go for a sec. I could go a second noise. Yeah, no.
Listen, I'll do another noise.
It's kind of like the water is like sucking me in as I go.
That is good. Last thing. I got my first today, guys.
Sorry.
All right, we're
you
gonna
trying
start
to
it.
do
Let's go. I'm
I was
done.
trying to do Tim Allen.
All right. Chapter 19. Crazy things. I would actually call this more of like a setup kind of chapter, which makes sense because here we are circling the drain to the end. So yeah, everybody's now like, oh shit, Draconis is back. And we like first come in to see Kilmandaros, Sukul.
Sekolath. I don't know.
Setchel.
A lot of
Crazy
suckling in these names, I have noticed.
Okay.
Agree. And the errant. I'm not really sure what happened to them. I feel like they got like knocked. Like, first of all, let's start with this thing that him coming out of the sword. Why did it send like ripples everywhere and everybody knew?
Because like it's power, like it's very powerful, and it's kind of this return of a
Where did it happen?
Darujistan.
No. He came out of it here on this continent. Just now.
Sorry. I guess I was talking about more. It is tied to the events of last book.
Yeah.
I do believe the elder gods all have a connection to each other because at the beginning, like earlier in this book, the errant, called them all together. Or no, what's her face? Called them all together, whatever. But I think most of the time, like, they don't reveal their whole power to each other because it's always a game of who secretly has more power than who. And Draconis just said, I'll fucking whip it out. Let's do it. And that kind of like fucked them all up pretty good.
Yeah.
I see. Which makes sense because immediately, the thoughts are like, what the fuck just happened? So I think I'm going to swing it over to, does anybody specifically want it? Or I'm going to throw it to PB.
What's
You're
up?
very excited about this chapter.
I am.
So what were your opening thoughts? Tell me everything. This was a cute little bit between the three of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting to see their development as this dynamic that is really we followed through. And then it's fun that Mail is kind of the window in for this, a lot of this exchange. And I mean, there's that tag with Mail at the end. And then it's fun that we both see Kilmandros have this exchange with the errant and Sekolath, who we've seen their dynamic throughout most of this book as they've kind of been negotiating their power around each other. And then also see Kilmandros kind of almost expose her thoughts and what she thinks about these other gods in that conversation with Mail. And there is like a little bit more that the reader learns about what's going on with them. And this is not the most exciting storyline to me, but it is, we do learn a lot here, and it is fun to see them as like characters and to see that point of view from Kilmandros.
Now, I do have a question. If you were the errant, would you trust Kilimandros and Sandalath with like a plan? Like, would you be like, yeah, I think that we're all going to be in this together, and equally, you guys are not going to fuck me over, and I believe this?
To be honest, I was actually biking to work today, and I was thinking about Menandere, Suckle-Andaloo, Shelf-Alor, and I kind of love their like fun. They're very fun characters to me, and they're kind of catty, backstabby, like camp. It's a little campy to me, and
Agree.
I think it's a similar thing, and we see this dynamic elsewhere. Often in Malazan, where it's like very powerful people who are clearly in some sort of tenuous alliance, and that truly are not like, there is no sense of common purpose based on cause or beliefs. It is more based on opportunity or like a desire for ambition or to gain power. So I certainly feel that's reflected here, and it has been interested to see the three of these people who clearly, in my opinion, it doesn't seem like they harbor a deep love for each other.
Yeah, I definitely think like a familial. I hate friend groups in in a regular setting. I hate them.
Okay.
No, okay.
Well, okay.
Because all right, because right now, we're working with a lot of alliances. We're working with a lot of assumptions here. Like, I have to trust you to believe that together, when shit goes down, you're going to be there for me on the other side. Meanwhile, we have people out here killing their own brothers. There is no trust. Now, as for me, I hate a friend group. I like one-on-one relationships. When there's three involved, I just can't trust that the other two have my best interest at heart.
Two can keep a secret if one of them is dead. That's the thing. That's what Ben Franklin says.
Yeah.
That's actually what Pretty Little Liars says.
Yeah.
Ben Franklin wrote Pretty Little Liars?
No, he stole from it.
Oh, interesting.
He plagiarized Pretty Little Liars. Yeah.
There's a difference.
I hear that's one of the lost books of the Bible.
It's the Third Testament.
It's the Third Testament.
If you actually read
the book of Ezra,
read the Poor Richard's Almanac backwards, Pretty Little Liars.
Well, he gave us all the clues, Mr. Policeman. Anyway, keep going. What's up?
So all I have to say, I would not thrive here. In any of these situations, everyone, I just one, and also just like in an alliance in general, I just feel like I'd be really bad at war, but also maybe really good because I'm really good at like pretending everyone's my best friend. But moving on, we'll leave this here.
Can I really quick ask a question in this part? Unless this is one of those classic AJ just kind of misunderstands a thing because we kind of skimmed over it, but
I definitely think I have the answer, so lay it on me.
There's a sentence here, Draconis has broken Calor's curse on him. Did we know that that's why he was stuck in the sword? Was a Calor's curse, a curse put on him by Calor?
I think that could just be more flowery language, but I don't know.
And Draconis walks free. Draconis has broken Calor's curse on him. I don't know.
No, there's definitely has to be something there. They're both so old. Something must have happened.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. I just wanted to know if that was supposed to be like a reveal or if this was just them in the middle of a conversation and I'm just like seeing the line now as we're recording and I'm like, oh, I don't remember that line.
I have Googled it because I did not remember, but it is actually super cool and I would love to share what I found.
Please.
So the floor is yours.
It's actually from the Memories of Ice prologue.
Whoa.
Yeah, flashback. As you remember, Calor encounters some elder gods. Krull, Draconis, the lady, the sister of Cold Nights.
And he did curse them all. Oh, shit.
And, whoa!
That's so fucking long ago.
Calor, using the power of all the death he caused in the destruction, curses them.
Yeah.
Krull, you shall fade from the world and be forgotten. Draconis, what you shall create shall be turned upon you. So that is kind of
sword,
which is what happened. Damn.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Steven.
Yeah, that was. Oh my god.
What
wow.
The fuck? What a
Steven, sit down.
Yeah, we're just gonna put that in half a sentence. It's gonna be a sentence fragment here.
I'm so glad you asked, AJ. I'm so glad to Google. I would have never. I feel like my brain. Like, that was years ago. Like I wasn't going to make that connection.
I didn't even clock that as I was reading it. I as we record, I'm always just like flipping through pages to just like see if lines pop out, and that one did. So really I'm glad that glad that I caught that.
That's
Wow.
fantastic. Phenomenal.
Cool.
Obsessed. Now I kind of want to look at like what the other ones said, see what if those came to fruition.
Probably.
Moving on. So, we go and now we're with those little snake children. Anybody else just kind of like, what the fuck? They are little savages. They all like, well, and also I didn't know that there was like parents with them as well, or is it just moms?
No, so correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure they have arrived back at the city they left or something,
No,
they've
they're
just
at the new city, the city of glass.
the new city,
yeah.
right? But the parents or whatever are there
Behind them.
they're behind them.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, they've been
Sorry,
following them forever.
Okay,
So
please
why were we
give me this because I clearly turned this around in my head.
So all we know at this point, but a little bit more gets revealed later, is that the quitters are Forkle Assail.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
that they came from the north into Calance, I think is the country, that we're all going to, and then chased all the children away because the children left. Somehow they've been alive this whole time. Magic, classic. And they have found some city of glass, whatever that means. And that I do not believe we know more than it's a city of glass that will protect them if they get into it for some reason.
To be fair, I spoiled what the city of glass is, and I know what it is.
It's
Ooh.
Oz.
It's Oz. Maybe it's like the light version of Carcanis. That'd be sick.
Maybe. Okay. So with that being said, I didn't know that adults were there. That changes everything. Why? Not really, but like I just don't understand why that one kid is holding a baby then. Like, why do you need to hold the baby?
Oh, well, the baby's name is held, and if it's not held, then what would its name be anymore? And, names give things power. This is all conjecture. He holds the baby because he has to hold the baby, because if he puts the baby down, he's given up hope, and if he gives up hope, the snake dies.
Right. That's ridiculous because there are adults on board. I just want to.
No, but the adults aren't on board. The adults are in the back trying to murder them.
Yeah, they are running from the children. I mean, they are running from the parents.
The parents are all dead. Behind them are the quitters who came in.
No, that's
Yes.
no. Wait, so you're telling me then that there are no mothers, no good mothers on this trip? Because I've read that there were moms.
No.
Did I make that up, Peter?
Where are the moms at? Am I right?
Fine, then I guess it's just children. That makes more sense because I was wondering why they would act like they were just a band of children.
Definitely just children.
Yeah, and they call them quitters. They call them quitters because they're inquisitors and they're children and they don't know.
Oh, I forgot. I don't know if I fully made that connection. Sick.
Yeah.
It is cool to have that reveal here.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it the whole book. That's the only reason I
did not make that connection. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, big reveal. Really, really interesting. Loved it. And I loved, what is her little name? Braiderell?
Badal?
There's Braiderell and Badal. There's two of them with like almost the exact same fucking name.
Is her? I
Yeah.
believe
You're correct.
she's a Forkle Assail.
A young one, maybe. In hiding.
How do they not know? And also, why is she there?
Well,
Does anybody know that?
The one girl does know, but she can't reveal it. Yes, knows, but she can't reveal it because then she would unleash her Forkle Assail powers. She knows. She knows something's up. And that girl's there because she needs to be. She's like spying for her mom, who's part of the quitters behind them. That's what you're thinking of. Her mom is one of the quitters in the back.
That's what I'm thinking of. Because I'm like, I know that her parents, and her dad died, I think.
Yes. Her dad's her dad died on this trip following, it was part of the Inquisitors.
Correct. Mm-hmm. All right. So, I thought it was really interesting that we get her point of view and she's kind of like, I don't know, is it Forkle Assail? She's kind of realizing now, oh my God, they're realizing that I'm a Forkle Assail and I need to get out of here. Adele then uses spoken word poetry to kill Forkle Assail. Mm-hmm. Hysterical.
She has nothing but words.
Yeah. All she has are her words.
All she has are her words. She's really annoying. Almost very pretentious.
Could I see her in Sensible Flats?
Oh. Jesus.
100%. She's not wearing shoes. She's barefoot.
This section fucking ruled. This section was so cool.
Really cool stuff.
It does also make me wonder, now that I'm thinking about it, if there's some connection somehow to the town of Spirit Walkers who literally use their voices as magical powers too.
No, that's a great comparison.
Well, it just seems very random that she now is like, well, I love poetry, so let me just see what happens if I tell them to stop. And then they all die. Loved it. Fascinating stuff.
It also just feels like it's a nice catharsis for all the poetry that we've seen her read and that we've been reading as readers throughout the book, you know? So
I agree.
It's like a cool climax to the idea of sharing poetry, you know?
Spoken word, to be specific. So yeah, so they get to the City of Glass and bye, you know? We'll see them later. What do you guys think about that, though? You know, like the whole... Like, what do you think? Do you think that she's relevant? Do you think that she is anything? Do you think that she is ascended? Because she's a child, but that little boy, like, worships her. And I'm like, wait, now we're worshiping her? Now we're like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what to think.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think.
There's definitely some, if it's not ascendant, it's some sort of something like that trickery going on, because like these kids aren't eating or drinking or whatever, and they don't seem to be like slowing down really. Like the only time we see them die is like they get eaten by locusts. It's not like they fall over from dehydration. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also like in the last chapter they were like, also we totally figured out how we just murder these locusts, so it's all cool here now.
It's all cool. And the answer is magic. No.
Yeah, 100%. The Inquisitors say like there's no reason they should be alive here.
Yeah.
Don't they eat each other when they die? I'm pretty sure.
I couldn't remember. I think they maybe use the bodies of each other to lure in things. Maybe that's what it was.
That too. They do that too. No, I swear to God, I read that they eat each other.
Pretty gnarly.
I wrote, literally one of my notes says, the kids are savages.
Did you mean savages like sick, nasty? Like, whoa, they're so sick, they're savages? Or like...
No, I meant like
savage, bro.
Like savage. No,
Have you heard of 21 Savage? Like that.
Do you know
gotta keep going.
Do you know about Megan the Stallion? Have you heard about her?
All right. Back on topic. So then
have you heard of Macho Man Randy Savage?
Come on. God.
There is this quote that I think Bedell says, such a way with words she has, as we know. There is more to life than suffering. Now we must find it. And I'm like, you guys deserve it.
Yeah, like fucking have a good time. I'm pleased. Do you know what I mean?
Right, exactly. So love that. And we'll end on that note. Any final thoughts on these little weird children? Probably not. Let's keep it moving.
I like
driving
that.
this bus.
Nice.
Love it.
Tool. Tool. Where can I start? More dramatic things about T'lan Imass. More sadness about life everlasting, and also life that was not everlasting because they chose to go with Kalava, and then Kalava didn't want them. Oh, what did you make of this chapter, AJ? This section?
You know, I love an ancient sad person, so...
Oh, I do.
Having a great time. You know, I love to hear somebody, you know, hero's journey style, deny the call and accept the call in the same page and a half. I think that's really great. No, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I know every time we've seen the T'lan Imass, you know, like show up and actually be active, it's like fucking rad. They're dust and then they're not dust, which is great. But I do believe somebody in here says maybe they'd be better off left as dust. That's really all I got out of it. Like I love this stuff. I love Tool, and I'm excited to see him. I don't know. I guess lead the T'lan Imass. I guess that's what I'm really curious about, because like this whole time they've been so ambivalent about, or like since Memories of Ice, when they were like freed or whatever from the Empire's deal, whatever pledge they made to the Empire. And I feel like every T'lan Imass we've seen since then has been like, hi, I'm one of the 7 T'lan Imass here, and I'm going to murder you. Bye. And then they leave. And so now to see them kind of brought back into the, I don't know, like war room, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, I'm curious to see what that looks like in this last book. If we're going to have Kachane Chamal versus T'lan Imass versus Forquil Assail, or some permeation of that. I don't know. Permutation is the word I want to.
And Peter, can you help me remember. Is this group of T'lan Imass the ones that someone said are like sworn only technically to the first throne, or is that a different set of T'lan Imass? Because they were talking. It's when they were talking about Shadow Throne's plans later. I think it's the Malazan soldiers talking about it.
I think you are thinking of the Logros T'lan Imass.
I am, and these aren't the Logros, right?
No, these are the Brold, or some of them are the Brold. There are 2,712 Brold.
The Logros are MIA currently.
I would just want to say one of my big weaknesses is the
upper body strength.
Come on.
T'lan Imass clan names. But my understanding is that these are not the Logros T'lan Imass. So yeah. I think the last time we saw the Logros is when they were defending the first throne back in like book 6 or so.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The first throne. Is that where Andaris used to be?
No, that's a separate throne.
That's not the first throne. I forgot.
That's a different throne.
That's the throne of Shadow. That's the throne of Shadow.
That's the Shadow throne.
Yeah, but not Shadow Throne.
It's Shadow Throne's Shadow Throne.
The first throne, you may recall, was like connected to the Logros T'lan Imass, and then
one of the ways that maybe Kellenvad learned to ascend or something.
Yeah, and then Akarium was kind of used by the Eater to try and get it, and there was a big fight at the end of book 6.
Oh,
with
right.
Akarium
That's the throne I was thinking of, but I forgot that's different from the Andarist one.
So wait, that was the one Shadow Throne was at, because that was the one that Shadow Throne hid to make it look like it was broken. Which is why Akarium went nutso.
No. You're thinking of... listen, neither of them are particularly relevant right now, but...
good to know.
It's a no from me, dog.
So just a bit of
put a pin in that.
Confusing throne stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm asking the community to stand behind me and tell me that they are the same throne. But
they're definitely not the same throne. All
right. What she's looking for is validation, and that comes in all forms, Peter. So let's comment.
Okay, I hear you, but they are just not the same, and I have to stand by that.
Okay. And I respect you standing by that. We're just gonna I guess we'll just keep moving then right along.
Really quick before we move right along.
Oh my goodness.
We get this POV from Nam Kala about how another T'lan Imass is like seeing Tool, and it kind of mirrors when we got some of the Barghast stuff of how they were seeing Tool as a leader. It's about how she is seeing Tool as the first sword. The first sword was not the giant of the legends. He did not wear a cloak of ice. Caribou antlers did not sprout from his head. He did not possess breath that gave the gift of fire, nor did he seem the kind of warrior to recount his exploits for 3 days and 4 nights to belittle an overly proud hero. She began to suspect few of these ancient tales belonged to this figure at all, which I just think is cool, because like if those were stories that they were telling about Tool, he's changed, and also if he hasn't changed, people were just making shit up.
I think that's what it was,
which is fun. So I like that.
Storytelling is a lost art.
Storytelling is a lost art. Kids are on their phones too much nowadays.
Preach. And the TikTok.
TikTok.
He says.
Now, for first swords, really quickly. Dasim Ultor is a first sword.
Mm-hmm.
First sword of the Empire.
Yes. Forgot they used that term.
Mm-hmm.
But Tool is also a first sword?
Tool is the first sword of the T'lan Imass.
And you could have multiple first swords then.
Well, first swords of different, things.
Yeah, just like how there's mortal swords of all the gods, there's first swords of these empires and stuff.
Cool. All right, great. Yeah, so Tool, oh my gosh, we thought he was an asshole. He's actually pretty cool. Not that he's looking for his kids or anything.
But also kind of lame, question mark?
Yeah.
But also pretty lame. Where are his children?
They are with Torrent.
Now they're with all these cool people, but we should say
that's a later subject, yeah.
Yeah.
Moving right along. So I think we're gonna there's not much left to this. We go to Quick Ben, and Quick Ben's freaking the fuck out. Quick Ben just needs to understand what's going on. Josh, yes. Quick Ben takes, I want to say, Bottle and also the Atricida. Aranict?
Yep.
and then just starts bugging out. Really, actually, I think I want to talk about the entire like
that's fine.
Malazan ending here.
Perfect.
Because a lot happens.
Mhm.
Yes. The other episode, I was really, really not feeling Malazan, and then this section brought me right back in. Absolutely having a blast.
He's an Empire boy again.
I am an emperor. Look, if there's something wrong with imperialism, then I don't want to be right.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Thank you.
Imperialism all the way.
Well, Josh, I think the point of all 10 of these books is imperialism has its merits.
Exactly.
If I'm getting anything from these books, that's the message I'm going to come away with.
These savages need to be tamed.
Order out of chaos.
Yeah, so I think in this Quick Ben's going off because I want to say Draconis invited them for a friendly chat.
so first the Draconis appearing first, every Malazan mage gets fucked up horrendously. Mm-hmm. The Lethari mages as well, but because they're not quite as Warren based, they're less fucked up, but they do still feel pretty rough.
Yeah.
And then you're right. I think Draconis wants to talk with Quick Ben, which is terrifying. I love this because I feel like I'm finally seeing why the fuck we've needed to know about these people for this whole book. It took a while, I'll say that, but I mean, not all of them. I couldn't give less of a shit about, the cuddle and smiles and Korek stuff. They're all really worried about death and all that stuff.
Regular human things.
Regular soldier stuff.
Yeah.
But then you got stuff like Ruthann Good, who's just Draconis, what a guy. And if he's talked with Draconis, that means either he was in Dragnapur and got out, which would make him one of two people to do that, the other being fucking Perrin.
Yeah. Master of the deck, Perrin.
Master of the deck, Anois Perrin, and then I guess Ruthann Good. Or it means that he's so fucking old that he knew Draconis before he was in the sword, which would make him as old as an Elder God or Kalor.
Right.
So, and we knew there was some weird shit about him, but we did not know that he was that weird. So excited for whatever that is. Can I tell you, Gessler and Stormy were so cool when they first came back in book 2 or whatever, and they were suddenly very fiery.
Yeah.
But now they're really, the novelty has worn off, and I feel like sometimes we don't know what they should be doing. So that's my personal feeling on them. I didn't really have much there. I don't know. But mostly the big thing is Cinter and Kisswear and this whole fucking thing that's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Take it home.
Masan Galani's back, baby.
Yeah. And we didn't like to see her leave, but we loved to watch her go.
Yeah.
We did.
Book horny from Assad. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I'm I think their plan is pretty terrible, but it does work out that many of the other potential allies, are also enacting equally terrible plans that it seems like will probably end up now working out now that they've sent out some people too. So pretty excited for that. I really don't understand most of it, or really, how did they know all this shit with the crippled god, poisoning Burn?
Yeah. This is a classic, look at us learning some stuff, For once in someone's goddamn life, just talking about what could be going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like usually people are way more they're well, should we proceed with how we could go forward? It's a very straightforward scene in a sense.
Exactly. I mean, I think this whole section is so straightforward compared to a ton of the other stuff that has happened in this book, especially with the Malazans, I'm excited that it feels like this plot line, which it's hard to imagine this confluence of these armies and what they do not being the main shit of next book. Obviously, it's Malazan, so, all bets are on the table. But I'm excited that we're about to have them all show up, and maybe we'll have some sense of what the fuck is going to go on. Although if this series ends with a giant prolonged battle war thing, I would be shocked because that is just not Steve's MO.
Yeah, I really second that. And I just want to point out lastly that Tavor is cold iron, the coldest there ever was.
She is cold iron.
I did.
She's so cold.
I wrote that down.
Thank you.
I do think it's always kind of interesting when people in the books talk about how Tavor functions, I guess. Like hearing Cinter be frustrated that Tavor isn't like telling them what's going on is just like classic Tavor stuff. And it's like, I don't know, I guess throughout all these books, I feel like personally I thought or had gotten the feeling that Tavor had like changed in some ways, or like how she does, you know, she's more aware of things, so she's changing how she's doing stuff. But like to see it from the view of Cinter, who is like, you know, not super high up in the arm. Well, she's a lieutenant. What is she? Captain?
Sergeant?
She's not that high.
Yeah, she's not super high up. It still just feels like they're being just kind of like drug around by Tavor, which I don't know. I guess is interesting because like to me, like seeing these scenes that we've had like in the war room, so to speak. That's the second time I use the phrase war room in previous books and chapters and stuff, and for, you know, Cinter to be like, she's not telling us anything is like very still, you know, book 2 Tavor, or book whatever Tavor. I don't know. Just interesting.
It's an interesting conversation, and it's touching on what I think we can follow up later on, because I think it's going to be something we will have a chance to speak about. Just like, what does it mean for the bone hunters and individual soldiers and, you know, even people close to Tavor, like Lestara Yale, to operate without purpose in a sense, or like without like them having that type of clear goal? What does that mean for organization? What are they? What is the army? Like, why are they using this system, this type of hierarchy? I think it's a lot of really interesting questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And guys, I kind of want to just like wrap us up here on chapter 19 and quickly just talk about Wooboobooboobooboo running into Draconis.
So pure.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was wholesome. Wooboobooboobooboo is underrated, I think. Or maybe not.
I was going to say, really?
Yeah, I
Maybe
rate
not
that fool
show.
so highly. I love him.
Agree.
I love that he leaves being kind of a supporting character in the whole like Lether setting, and like he's on the stage, he's doing his own thing, you know, and that's beautiful.
100%. I totally agree. Last line. I love that he has no idea who Draconis is. Draconis is like, actually, I think I'm going with you. He notices his armor, and I wonder what that means. Was he like a Lether person?
Who?
Or is that like, are they like so old that Lether wasn't even a thing when Draconis was like not in a sword?
Yeah, I think
Lether's an offshoot of the First Empire. So yeah.
And I also think it has to do with that it's kind of this special magic stuff that Ubala got, right? Remember?
Oh yeah.
No, I don't. But great. Last line, very cute. Ublala says like something, but they're not as bad as chains. And I think that's so beautiful because, you know, Draconis, really, is he crazy? I don't think so. But like, how can he not be? But he knows chains, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And those chains are broken free, just as we are from chapter 19.
Oh.
All right. Let's
Wow.
take a moment and thank everyone who have sponsored us on Patreon.
This week, we'd like to thank these Ooblaalapungs in our lives.
Friends. Nice.
Oh, I was saying because they all have monster dogs. So, sorry. Anyway, thank you to the following. We got
Christ.
we got Devin, Steen, Zach, Chris, Palkin Stirs and Stirs, Tyler, Priya, Maddie, and John.
Thank you all so much for your support. As we say every episode, it really does help us keep making this show, period. It does help us keep making the show. We will have an episode up soonish. Josh and Pete talking about the epigraphs of Toll the Hounds, as well as... Do y'all want to announce it?
And Osmosis Jones. And additionally, I wrapped up recently my read-through of Dust of Dreams, uploaded little thoughts on the Patreon. We have a lot of great stuff up there. Come on through. You're going to love the way you look. I guarantee it.
Wow. There you go. It's Men's Warehouse.
All right.
So we've got, a DraftKings drop in this episode. Men's Warehouse. Amazing. Should we move on?
Let's move on.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, so wasn't too hot on a lot of chapter 20. I'm not super interested in the Silchus Ruin and Alaise situation. Now, unfortunately, in preparing to lead these chapters, I have read at least 4 or 5 very, I think, significant spoilers.
Oh my god.
Okay.
The thing is, because I was trying to be really prepared. So in preparing, I was doing a lot of research on characters.
Sure.
And in doing a lot of research on characters, I stumbled upon things that I didn't want to know.
We appreciate your sacrifice. Ryad Alaise is Udinas's son, correct?
Yes.
And okay. Just making sure.
Weird second name. Not sure why. Don't appreciate it.
It means hands in the fire or some shit, something like that.
Tistoliosian.
Yeah, we first meet him as Rud Alal. You may remember.
Yeah, so whatever. Don't really care about this. There's a lot of conversation about Azaths, and I don't really... This whole scene was just kind of pointless. So let's just move on. Ruina and Rud are making a friendship. That's really the main takeaway I'm getting from this.
Yeah, they talk a whole lot. They talk about, what's the word? Aggression. They talk about cultures overtaking other cultures.
Yeah, that's a long part.
Yeah, that's a very long part.
Yeah, and it's just kind of the same thing that we've been doing. What I'm like, the main point I want to get from this topic here is that we are forming a bond. We are forming a friendship.
Yeah.
But is Silchus Ruin capable of such?
Maybe
is the question.
Silchus Ruin does what he has. He does what he has to do, which is why he had to he killed Kettle, and then that's why they talk about the Azath in this section, because he's like, is Kettle still alive? And he's like, oh, maybe.
Yeah. He's like kind of like, if she is, she's living better than she was. She was never alive, which I found to be very offensive.
She's in a better place.
And it's kind of a red flag.
It's
a red flag.
It's actually good that I killed her.
Right, literally. So red flag, hated that. Then they run into Olar, Ethil, and Torrent.
Classic.
Olar, Ethil, can you tell me when the first time you ever recall hearing that name?
The first
earlier
time?
This book?
Yeah,
I
earlier
wanted
this book
to touch in with everyone and Olar Ethil, who I feel like we see a lot here. And I don't know if we've talked about much her as her character and what you guys think of her.
She's
dislike her.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, bad person.
Oh, I like her.
Okay.
She was mean to Silchus Ruin. He deserves it. He's an asshole.
Well, but he also made Tok turn away Tool.
She's the one that made Tok be mean.
And then she attacked Torrent to make him keep doing what she asks him to do.
He slapped her in the face in this
to save her life.
Toxicity.
Well,
here.
okay. Well, hold on. That's because Torrent's got a fucking backbone, and I love that for him.
Torrent, their dynamic's very interesting. Torrent and Olar Ethil.
Yeah. Also, Olar Ethil did the ritual of T'lan, which is like the catalyst for so much terrible shit in this world.
Oh my god, Josh, please! All the T'lan Imass are having a good time and notoriously loving it.
Is this the first time we hear of the ritual not being like and all the Imass were super into it? Like, was this the first time it was like, no, you did this thing and people didn't want you to do it really, actually?
And everyone was super hardcore stoked.
I don't think it's like they were against it. I just think maybe she did not really paint them a clear picture of what was ahead of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's more my impression with it is like...
And it's not that she did the whole thing on her own, because I'm positive we've heard that there were many bone casters.
Yeah, it's got to be a whole bone caster. Yeah,
but she is the one that got them started and was just like, you know who we hate? These fucking Jaggeds. Let's just live forever and kill them of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, really interesting stuff.
Do you know
Olar Ethil, sensible flats.
Olar Ethil.
100%.
I think she deserves to walk around in the most uncomfortable heels for the rest of her life.
Okay, now...
Oh my god! Lady Envy! Obviously, the obvious answer.
Okay.
The obvious feminist icon.
Okay.
What about Lady Spite?
Okay, but
Sister Spite, I mean.
Here's the thing. I feel like she's a feminist icon in the heels, and I would never want to take her out of the heels, you know?
I know. But like, just for comfort on the boat.
Well, on the boat. Maybe she's wearing a sensible flat.
She's wearing Sperry's on the boat.
Yeah. She's wearing Sperry's on the boat. Big episode for foot guys today.
Yeah.
I bet her toenails are painted.
Oh my God.
Just dropping it in there. So moving on to Baljag now, and the wolf people and cartographer. She's like the queen wolf. Yes or no?
Baljag? I don't know.
The dead queen wolf.
I don't know.
There are two wolves.
Yeah.
Is she one of them? The girl wolf.
What's the question?
Is Baljag one of the wolves from the Beast Throne?
No.
No.
Is what I believe she is just like a big eye.
A protector wolf sent possibly by the wolf gods. Possibly.
I thought she was one wolf god.
I thought, okay, wait, no, now India, now that you say that, Baljag wasn't Talk's partner in Memories of
That's what I
Ice?
thought.
No,
it's
you're correct.
Really, it's the same name, yeah, but it's that's not one of the wolf gods right now.
Okay, I have looked into it and I have clarified.
Okay.
It is the wolf that was Talk's companion.
Okay.
And I think technically this is like a manifestation of Baljag.
Okay, like a shadow
Yeah,
of...
because you got to think the wolf from that book did not go to become a god. Like the thing and the spirit inside of that wolf became the god, and this is just sort of more the body of it brought back. Peter disagrees.
That, and also it should be noted that that this is an eye that like lost that like ancient race of wolves that is kind of dead now, the AY people.
Yeah.
So I was just clarifying a little bit about that. We're all learning a little bit more about Baljag today. This is a very this is a very cool picture. I think I can send.
Oh my God, Peter, is that just your foot? Why would you send that?
Okay,
Your toenails look great.
This is actually
long.
This is actually from Memories of Ice.
Sick.
Oh, nice.
Really good, really good. There's Talk's literally not in the picture though, so why the fuck would I want this?
Well, this okay. Talk or get out.
Oh, who are these people?
That's
Who are
like
these fucking people?
Lady Envy and all the Segula from Memories of Ice.
Oh, that's beautiful. She's barefoot.
Yeah, I really like this artist's style.
Yeah, I've seen their stuff's all over the wiki.
All over
The wiki. Shout out dejan-delic. I don't know if that's how you say it.
All right. So, what did you make of this conversation? Who wants to take the between cartographer and Talk? No. What's her name? Baljag?
No, Kafal.
Kafal.
No. Setok.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
We really got there, gang.
Oh my God. Sorry. Who? Yes. I think I want that to go. I don't know. Is anybody particularly like jazzed about any of this?
I thought it was. I always think it's kind of cool when the wolf gods come up because I think they're kind of cool, and I think Setok's kind of cool.
That makes sense. You have so many of that 3 wolf shirt, so that really makes sense for you.
Yeah. Well, never mind. I just wait. Sorry, just a whole bunch of different.
You know, like the 3 wolves in the moon shirt?
3 wolf moon shirt. Yeah, but I just have a bunch of that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that was my
Josh.
joke. My guitar player in my band had so many.
Josh, you are really dating yourself today with the reference.
I'm aware. I'm tired, guys.
Well, what do you feel about like Talk being the herald of war with his wolf eyes?
I don't know, man. I mean,
What does that even mean?
This is another war animal introduced. The first.
Well, we know the wolves were wolves of war.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, they did all. Didn't the wolves come and fuck shit up and when there was all the fire? In that book?
Well, we've known the wolves are war because they have the fucking mortal sword, AJ. And like the Grey Helms and the Parish, they like worship the wolves. And
Yeah,
the
but I
wolves
didn't
of
know
war.
I
Book 6.
guess I forgot that they were the wolves of war.
Yeah, I think only the war things have mortal swords, you know?
Oh,
Other than the Kachin who are adopting the mortal sword.
That's not true. There are other mortal
Is it not?
swords. Yeah, but
Of anything other than Trake or the wolves?
mortal sword of Hood, you may remember.
I don't.
Okay, you may remember.
is it not?
him.
It's not the guy from book 2 because he wasn't the mortal sword of Hood.
Decimaltor. That's who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Might be.
Decimaltor is the first sword.
Yes, and the mortal sword of Hood.
First Sword of the Empire, mortal sword of foot. I also thought it was interesting. We got a little
he's a multi-hyphenate.
Side convo about the bowls.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a fun little diversion.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting because like it's just been a fun thing that we come back to every time the bowls show up in these books, that they like exist solely to fuck shit up. And I just think that's a fun through line for them.
I don't know if I have strong opinions about this section, but I will say it is fun in a classic way, and it happens several times throughout the series, and especially in these ending books, where like, oh, like all of these characters are getting together, and like you get to see these different dynamics interact, and I am just dumb, so I'm always like sectioning off people into whole different parts of the world and never have any expectation that they will meet. And then when like storylines connect like this, I'm always like, whoa, who could have thought? You know?
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah, and then at the end of that scene with Setok, they're like, they see another guy over there staring at them, and then we get the Mappo POV switch of like Mappo's staring at them.
And I love when Erickson does that.
I do love that. I think those moments give me a real clear like directorial image. You know what I mean? Like I can see that shot, reverse shot.
Yeah, that's very cinematic in that way.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. Moving on, though, because that's enough of that.
Am I right?
There's a whole bunch of names here, and I don't know where they really belong, but let's move over to...
Did we really... I'm sorry, I zoned out a couple times. Did we really dig into this Silch's Ruin conversation?
No.
Not at all.
Yeah, we
Just
gotta
over
talk about
because-
that. That's so
What
big.
about
Get us into it, Josh. What do you think? What's going on?
We all disengaged because I don't think any of us were compelled. What compelled you?
Oh, I mean, it's really beautiful. I mean, who doesn't love... First off, okay, I'm going to paint you a picture. Who here has a
Please.
sibling?
Me.
Okay.
All of us.
All of us.
All of us.
Great. All right, I'm going to paint... Okay, here's the scenario, right? You have a young ward, okay? You're really starting to bond. It's been a good time. What's that? Your high school bully shows up and goes, "What's up? Hey, did you know your brother beefed it like 3 days ago? Bitch." That's like a really such a 1-2 punch of someone you hate. You're on your guard. You've got this new guy. You're sort of testing him out. And then, hey, your brother's dead. Like, just really completely changes the conversation. And also, I think really humanizes Silch's Ruin because I don't think he's the greatest person. But, like, obviously he is racked with grief over this. And that's really great to see because, like, so much of the relationship, it feels like, between these brothers has been terrible, and it's interesting. And among a lot of siblings, like Peter earlier talked about fucking Menandere and all those sisters, like literally betraying each other. And this is just a beautiful moment of like a brother racked with grief and having no way to process those emotions, especially considering he's like millennia old. You
Has he
know?
considered journaling?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard that's an effective solution. Currently, he's inconsolable, so maybe we'll hold that for a few weeks.
Yeah, that was
Who
really
killed his brother again?
and Amanda Rake.
And Andorus, they're all three brothers.
That was a great point, Josh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Josh.
No problem.
Okay, so we're deciding on who a destriant should be.
Ugh.
Peter, what was that?
I just like, no matter how many times I have now read this part like 3 or 4 times, and I just like cannot get into it. I'm like, I just cannot connect. I don't know why.
I gotta tell you, I'm so happy to hear you say that.
Yeah, I just find this mortal sword not... I mean, first off, I think this mortal sword's the definition of sensible heels already, and I think I wish she was a little more fun and flirty, personally.
Oh, I see.
Sensible flats, just to be clear, but
What did I say?
heels.
Sensible
Sensible
heels.
heels.
Is there such a thing?
There's no such thing. Wedges.
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 I think
Wedges.
it's the Tanakalian
A
stuff.
sensible shoe and a great battle formation.
Oh my god.
So she probably would have them.
The wedge. I think the Tanakalian stuff has all the fixings of an interesting storyline that I should be locked into.
It's a great way to put it.
Because like all the times that we're in Tanakalian's head and he's like, I'm secretly, I know what's best. And I know that, you know, I watched the Destriant melt into goo, but I'm not going to tell anybody and blah, blah, blah. Like that stuff is really interesting. I'm like, cool, I like that. But that's like one paragraph out of every single one of these scenes.
I think the problem I have is how many people in this book series have we seen already do this and then just beef it?
Maybe that's what it is too, because the Tentacalian, I think, is like the classic thinks he's smarter than everybody.
He's a real Corbel Brooch. Is that who I'm thinking of? No. He's a real Corbel O'Dom.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly, Peter.
I did not think you were going to pull out a Corbel O'Dom ref.
Oh, yeah. That was, for a while, Corbel O'Dom was the poster child of thinking he was the smartest in the room.
Yeah, he was.
And that's Tentacalian right now.
The antagonist of the podcast. Yeah, I totally agree, Josh. I think
I personally would say Scheduling is the antagonist of this podcast, but...
Ooh, would love to hear it.
Remember when Peter lived in Japan? That fucking blew.
Don't remind me. It's so funny to me. I find it hysterical even how central Tavor is to so many conversations and how little we talk about her on this podcast. Which I think is because people find her like a lot more like, ooh, mysterious, and I wonder what her motivations are, and we're just kind of like, who fucking cares?
Well, I don't feel that way, but
I know you don't. But
I'm a fan of Tavor, but I do think it is interesting. If you were there, I'm sure you would be very frustrated with her management style. Mm-hmm. I'm going to guess if I was working in the organization, I'd be frustrated with her.
Well, even get the view from Lestara at one point in that last chapter. As she's like, what did Quickmen and Bottles say to Tavor? I want to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, literally. She's asking me to do this. She's kicking people out, and she's not saying why.
Right.
There has to be a reckoning for Tavor where everything just comes. I just want her to, I don't know, let us in.
You want her to get her comeuppance? Is that what you're saying?
Let us in. No, let us in. I love that.
Let us in.
Like, I just want her to like have like a very public breakdown, or a private one, but public to us.
You're still salty. You're still salty about the end of House of Chains. Just admit it.
Oh my God. I literally
and if you could
never get over it.
If you could remind me the ending of House of Chains.
She killed
Felison.
Her sister,
but doesn't know it.
I just don't.
She kills her baby sister, and no one ever tells her.
I still feel nothing about that.
And then you may recall,
Josh, you were on record upset at Tavor about that. All right, I just want to say.
Well, looking back, I was a younger man.
I want to say I was steadfast in my belief that Tavor didn't deserve to be told the truth because she didn't deserve to be made sad. Anyway, Spax. Queen of Brastel, the parish.
Yeah. Let's talk about who Queen of Brastel is.
Sure.
I don't know.
She's the queen of the country that... Okay,
Volcando.
So... Thank you. She's the queen of...
Right?
Yes, queen of Volcando. Okay, so the people that the Barghast were fighting and... No, pause. The people that the Burn Tears were fighting.
Yes.
Who they had that meeting between the Burn Tears guy and she's like the warrior queen. She's got that super cool legion. There's a Barghast clan that's allied with them, and that's who Spax is. Mm-hmm. And she has gone with the Burned Tears to like ensure their safe passage back with the Malazans.
And I thought she was going to supply the Malazans so that they could go to
She is supplying the Malazans,
Calance.
but now she's like, well, why would they be going to Calance? She's also the mom of the princess that met with, and now is on the boat with her name.
Falash, whatever.
Thank you. Yeah, her name is Falash. But who's the pirate? I feel so bad.
Circa.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, she's going to meet with Tavor.
Yes. I forgot that Tavor had an Otateral sword. That's sick as hell.
And also probably pretty important because this land does not appear to natively have Otateral like Seven Cities.
Does Ublala Pung also have one?
No.
Oh.
But Tarthanol, like Toblakai, I think have a natural resistance to magic.
Mm-hmm. If we were to draw lines, then yes, but I don't think we've seen that confirmed.
Yeah.
Right? Because Karsa and Ublala are different.
Yeah, but they have a shared ancestry.
Right. But I mean, we've seen it in Karsa, but we haven't seen it in Ublala.
It's true.
Have we seen Otateral interact with holds at all?
We know it would work because there's the Otateral dragon, and that is as ancient as the holds are.
Okay. Thank you. Damn. The magic stuff is so interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, let me pitch it. What's that? A new story set in the Malazan universe. Mm-hmm. It's about a plucky orphan kid
Okay, I'm interested.
He's learning magic, but get this, it's like a boarding school for magician people.
Uh-huh.
All right,
Thoughts?
my interest is deeply fading.
Okay, let me see if I can
Are
pivot.
you just
What's
making...
that? Wait, sorry. What's that? But it's really sexy. And they're all 18.
And there's an older man that guides that
Yeah.
plucky teenager.
Okay.
It sounds like we're kind of mashing up like Call Me By Your Name, Harry Potter.
What other franchise do you want? There's giant sandworms. Boom, Dune's in there, baby. We did it.
All right, I'm seeing it.
Yes.
Could maybe the boy be wearing a red beret and be doing a really sick ass dance?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Kind of down the halls of the academy.
I like that. And when we cast it, he's going to have to wear a fat suit. That is going to be part of the deal.
100%.
Yeah, we shouldn't cast just a fat person.
Well,
Also,
that makes it look more like the stage play.
It would make it look more like the stage play, India.
Exactly.
Okay.
that's true. That's true.
Because this is also
And
a
I'd
multimedia
like-
experience. It's not just a
Yes.
book. It's also a show. It's
That's
also
right.
a stage
Yes.
play. It's
Yes.
also a musical.
Yes.
We should incorporate some kind of social media into it as well.
It's also a social media.
It's an
a social
ARG.
network.
It's an ARG.
There's an
It's
ARG
ARG.
element. And there'll be several geocaches
7.
that you.
So much
All
geocaching.
right.
19.
Great. Love this, guys. I love this energy, and I'm just going to steer it really quickly back to the end.
Z. Sorry.
What are you doing?
I'm doing the
Agent-
ARG subliminal stuff. You got
Okay.
Also, copyright 10 very big books. All right, if this gets big, and if Steve wants to go to, or Steve or Ice want to take it in this direction, copyrighted. All right, and I know
That's
what
how
you're
that
saying.
works.
Can you copyright their intellectual property? We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see. We'll have to take it up with the
That's
Walt
TBD.
Disney Corp. That's TBD. Okay, I'm not a lawyer.
Anyway.
We need a SME.
Smee.
Nice.
Yes.
Smee drop.
All right, so taking this home, there's really nothing important about this last two parts. I feel like
Oh,
the
absolutely
women laughing and having a good time and talking about children. Those are all fun things.
Some
Don't get
women
me
stuff.
wrong, but really doesn't add to the overall of this chapter.
Hmm.
And I'm honestly like a little confused as to why. I guess maybe Steve was just trying to wind us down for rising action.
Shout out to the moms, I guess.
Yeah,
Just a
shout
way
out to
end the
moms.
show. Shout
I
out
do
to the
partly
moms.
wonder if it's supposed to be sort
Shout
of a
out to moms.
juxtaposition with like
Okay.
everything we've seen in the Bargas camps a little bit, you know?
Josh coming out again.
Like there's sort of really different energy
There's like
here.
it's like a community of women.
So Josh, you hate moms.
No,
You're anti-mom.
sorry. I love MILFs. I don't
Nice.
like all moms though.
Oh, I see.
Whoa.
Josh, I do think that's
Hot take.
interesting to draw that parallel. I'm just trying to keep us on track now.
I really agree with what you. I agree with AJ. It was an interesting thing. Sorry, I got wrapped up in the bit.
It's okay. I'd love
I also agree.
I'd love to get wrapped up by a MILF.
God.
And on that note, we are going to move on to chapter 21. All right, Sandalath and Withel.
All right, so who fucks better, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman?
Come on.
Okay, no.
It's
Batman. Okay.
It's Spider-Man.
He's got
It's
the toys.
Spider-Man.
Batman.
It's Spider-Man. You don't even need to wear the knots.
Okay.
All right.
Josh, who's the one with the cave?
Sandalath and Withel. What a beautiful couple. I'm
Oh, they're really nice.
obsessed
I
with them
ship
as a
them.
couple.
Yeah.
And it's just like I love seeing them, and their rapport is really sweet. And it's like Withel's just like a sweet guy, you know.
Yeah, I'm glad to see them. I'm glad to see them crest the hill that they had been like on a bit in this book, where they were just like fighting all the time because Sandalath is like upset, and Withel is just like, I don't know what to do. So it's nice to see them communicating, I think, and I love them. Thank you.
Oh, that was beautiful, AJ.
India, I think Sandalath here is really obviously kind of really reflecting on what her role in this kind of return to Carcanus means, and what her relationship to Twilight is. I just wonder how you're thinking about Sandalith here and her role in the scenario. And I think we are seeing a lot more of her in this book. And I think we really see where she's at in this chapter.
Well, first, I wanted to question, I always forget, and I just want to make sure, Carcanis is what?
The first city.
Corral?
In Corral Ghislaine, it's
yeah.
like the first city of the Tist-Andi. Yeah, you're pumping your fist. So yeah,
you knew
that's
it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just this like kind of lost city that they're coming back to. And it is cool. There's that line here. It's something I talked about on the Patreon where they're like, plugging the Patreon, where it's like, oh, like people need to have a homeland or people need to know where they come from. And I think that's interesting. And it's an interesting element of this story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's interesting for Sandalith specifically because like she had made such a concerted effort to not come back for such a long time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it is. I agree, Pete, that angle of just like being connected to where you're from is important and, you know, has value and stuff. And I just think it's interesting to see that journey through Sandalith, because I think it does kind of, you know, in a very broad sense, echoes, I think, a lot of very common feelings people have about, you know, where they're from or the stuff from their past, you know.
Well, they're a diaspora, you know.
Definitely. I have to look up that word every single time I hear it. The dispersion or spread of a people from their original homeland. Yes. It even more interesting in that respect.
Yeah, so she's from Carcanis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she doesn't fuck with Mother Dark.
No
one does.
Because everyone was fighting with Mother Dark, basically. Because Mother Dark said, no, see ya, bye. And they were all like, all right, fine, fuck you, Mom.
And then
She
it's
was
interesting.
a neglectful mommy.
Mother Dark is coming back, and she hasn't connected with Sandalith.
Yeah. I feel like that must be very conflicting for Sandalith.
Mm-hmm.
Especially having to be like the voice of like reason there. When you're not even like, you know, we got a bunch of unresolved shit going on. And Sandalith she's a bit of a quirky character, I feel, in some ways.
Quirky,
you know?
Quirky how? I'm not sure if quirky's the word I would use, but what do you mean?
I don't know. She has like big feelings, I feel like.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
I think that's like maybe just a nice way of saying, I like her. I like her a lot.
Yeah. I do think it's interesting to see Sandalith in juxtaposition to like Animander Rake, who are both just very old Tist-Andi, and Animander Rake went the route of like, I will just repress everything and not feel ever. And Sandalith was like, I'm going to repress some stuff, but I am going to like feel emotions and feel them very big. So I think it's just very interesting to see that.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, how do you feel about the fact that Mother Dark has connected with Ethil, but is not connected with Sandalith here?
I mean, I would say it's Mother. I mean, if I had to guess, not that I can get inside the head of a god, maybe she feels guilty for her actions and maybe is a little hesitant to reach out to those that she's hurt. And it would be easier for her to lay the seeds of trying to ask for forgiveness through like her significant other.
Yeah.
That does not sound very godly, in my opinion. I feel like she's like, you can reach out to me first.
I don't know. I mean, is she acting as a god right now or a mother?
Was she acting like a mother, though, like when she, like, you know, went and did all that shit and decided to create races? Fucking like, how many races did she create? 3? 2?
She created one, and then the God of Light created the one, Osiric, and then I think they together created Shadow.
But we're also not entirely sure if that's like accurate, I think, anymore.
Absolutely not. Because anything could be anything.
Yeah, anything can be anything.
I just want an explanation, you know?
I do want to get to the shore, and sorry for asking a question. I just wanted to hear what India thought. But I did just want to quick say, as to briefly touch on Pulley and Squish, not that they really do too much important stuff, but I did just want to announce formally on the show that if you know and you do not write in, you're a foe of mine. Okay, you're an enemy of the show. And here's what I'm talking about. When Pulley and Squish are at the estate, and there's the big dog statues with the penises. The dog heads are different. If you know that these characters or are the origin of these statues are explained in the Carcanis trilogy, you must let me know. You must let me know if the origin, like I'm sure the origin of like a lot of stuff is discussed in the Carcanis books, but if these statues get an origin story, you need to tell me. I must know, please.
Is this contingent on whether you read the books or not?
I think there's maybe. We'll see. I'm begging you. So if you know, please write in. And listen, if it's not, Steve, there's still time. Maybe that's what's going to wrap this whole thing all up. We don't know. So, just a plea to our listeners, please fill me in. I'm begging to be told.
Well, I guess
begging to be filled in.
Begging to be filled
in. I guess that's spoilers that we don't learn about the dogs with their dicks out in this series. Come on.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Spoilers, Peter.
Maybe we do learn and I've forgotten, but to the best of my knowledge, I don't know shit about these dog dick statues. So
Pete doesn't know shit about dick, all right? And that's where they stand.
Sorry for interrupting. I just am very passionate about those statues. You feel very passionate.
Yeah.
Of course.
What's going on
with the dogs?
I understand. Yeah, please answer PB's please. They need it. Moving on. Derek found a sword.
Yeah.
What kind of sword is it, guys?
The Hust sword.
It's a Hust sword, India.
The Ascarl Hust sword.
That classic sword.
We don't know anything about Hust swords other than they're going to pierce that light, India. 100,000%. And that Sandalath threw it away for some reason.
Yeah. Is Derek like the Sheikh? What are they?
The Sheikh are Tist-Andi ?
The Sheikh,
right?
The Sheikh are something. They have Tist-Andi blood in them, but to our eyes, they are fully human. So maybe it's just diluted blood over time. But what their ancestors were is constantly the question. Because right now, they're humans with connections to Tist-Andi, but their ancestors maybe were Tist-Andi or were, servants to the Tist-Andi and had some blood in them. It's like really, we don't know.
Yeah, but I think in the end, they're all related to the Elaint or something, right? Because don't the purer blood Sheikh... Did the witches, didn't they have like dragon feet or whatever? They had like claws.
I mean, I could see that being a thing. I know they had claws on their feet, but yeah.
I think I remember making a connection. I made a connection a couple books ago, and it was like a really good shot or something. But I cannot for the life of me remember the context of it. I do just want to say one of the coolest things I've ever read here. The Hust sword are quote 5-blade swords, which means to test whether they're sharp enough, they have to cut through 5 other swords.
So
that's hard as hell. That is so fucking metal. I love that so much.
Yeah.
It sounds a little bit of an overkill.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm here for it.
Yeah, fucking amazing. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out because it's so rad.
And how do we feel just walking into the next section? Kilmandaro's son.
Sekolath.
He's the parent of the Opon twins.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, I think
what the fuck was that about?
So I think we knew there was a connection. I think I said something, but I definitely didn't know he created them. We know that the Warrens are like one level removed lower than the Holds, and originally they were less powerful than the Holds, but then as they got more notoriety and more followers, they became the preeminent ones, at least in part of the world.
Was that like a big reveal to you, would you say?
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, something about like just finding out that the Opon twins were just like kids.
Well, to find out that like any of the gods that, I mean, we spent the first however many books thinking those gods were the fucking thing.
Yeah. And
then to find out that like apparently they were all created and they're like the 2nd gen, although really they're probably like the 8th gen in the grand history of this fucking world or whatever. But
yeah.
So Kilmandaros is a grandma.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess so, technically.
Call that a gilf, am I right?
Oh my god.
I'm actually definitely not, to be honest.
Josh is trying to have his whole body grabbed by 2 hands.
Yeah.
Ew.
The show's has had an intense sexual energy today.
Well,
you know why? It's because I'm hosting. And I bring the fire.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Actually, no, I think it's Josh.
It's me. I'm yeah, I'm a lot today.
It's me. The problem is me.
Yeah.
I'm the problem. It's
me.
No, guys, I'm the horny one. Thank you very much.
Peter pitched the thought of maybe going very sex negative coming up, and this was kind of my response, my reaction.
I see.
But like, you know what's weird about that reveal? And I don't know why I'm so like stuck on it. I think it's mostly because I never thought of them as real, the twins.
Okay.
Like they just kind of like seemed very like fake, like abstract people. I feel like. I don't know why. Like they have a coin. Like what does that mean? They're called Opon. Like what are their names? Do they have individual names? What are they?
No, it's just Opon. The Lord and the
Opon
Lady.
twins.
Yeah, the Lord and the Lady.
Right, that's bullshit. So like the fact that like they were like made, and were they made or were they born? Like these are the questions that I have.
Yeah. Well, I do think, India, I do think you tap into something here of like, you know, them not having names and like, you know, the Lord and the Lady, whatever, like it creates this mystique about them. And it's like, ooh, we have a cool coin that like tells your fortune. And then for them to like be given such a concrete origin of like, I made these are my kids. Is like, oh, it's, I don't know. To me, it kind of like shook up kind of my whole like worldview of what I thought of the gods and stuff. It's like, oh, they had to have come from somewhere. And where else would they have come from if not from the elder gods?
And even like, agree. And Josh, in my research, like actually, I think like, and I've also kind of thought of them like this, I think on my own, or maybe just from my research, but I saw them as like one thing on a card.
Yeah.
And that's all I see them as.
Like, I get that too.
Like they just don't, like they're literally like a two-dimensional card.
Yeah. I love that idea of them. That's really good.
I see them as kind of like gold skinned for some reason. Like, and they wear like gold robes or whatever. And then here's a pull. Y'all ever play BioShock Infinite?
No.
Yes, I do. Yes.
They remind.
Did you really? That's incredible.
It reminds me of the twins from BioShock Infinite, who are just like
That's
popping.
a great pull.
They're popping in and out and being like weird and kind of mischievous, and then they just kind of like walk away.
And they're like, yeah, exactly. They just appear, start talking, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
I love that game. I just played it while I was here, actually.
Wow.
Nice.
Shout out to the gamers. Am I right?
Also, I'm playing Last of Us 2 now.
Wow.
Oh.
I love that game.
Never played
Yeah,
either.
it's really, well,
I hear good
recommend.
things.
Well, I can't.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I can't beat the end, and I die every single round in this game. But let's not talk about that. Actually, I'm really bad at video games. I get scared and I scream, and then I lose. But I it's the resolve. I always go back and try again. Anyway, Torrent. Let's go.
Sorry, really quick. Really quick. I'm not done with this yet.
Oh, please.
Sandalath is talking about Opon and stuff, and says something about like the Kachane Shamal also realized that this was all pointless. And I just think it's fun when the Kachane Shamal come up in the context of like history and stuff, because for so long they were just the weird dinosaurs with sword arms. And so I just like throughout this whole book, it's just so cool when the Kachane Shamal come up and they are like a fully fleshed out like culture and society with like thoughts and feelings. I just like love that. I think that's, of all the like reversals that this series does, I think that maybe is my favorite one, of like the undead dinosaur that we found in book 3 is actually like a fully fleshed out society and culture and stuff.
Race.
Yeah. That's just so good. It's just so good.
No.
And we learned so much about them in this book.
So much about them.
And they're so cool. I love the Kachane Shamal.
Yeah.
I hope you played the sound effect, AJ.
Right here.
The Kachane Shamal. Thank you. Okay, sorry. Now we can move on to Torrent.
And more about the Kachane Shamal.
Yeah.
Toward their little city. Their pretty city.
Fucking man.
Cities are really just like ticks, though, when you think about it. Kind of just burrowed in, kind of sucking out all the resources.
Yeah.
What?
Farmers first is what I always say.
It's an interesting little line they get on, and so I've actually been reflecting on the series environmentalism recently, so that's fun.
When they were discussing the twin little dinosaurs, were they talking about Telerast and Curdle? I don't know why I called them dinosaurs. I meant dragons.
I do.
Yeah, that's Telerast and Curdle.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm obsessed with them.
There's so much backstory.
We have so much to talk about them later on this chapter.
Yeah.
Didn't that happen already? Oh, nope, you're right. No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this is a whole different conversation with Torrent and Olar Ethil.
Yeah, you're right.
Which starts off by Olar Ethil being like, ha, just kidding, I was fucking lying to you.
Yeah.
Which just really made me upset. Like, made me super duper upset. So
Why?
Because I don't know. I like Torrent. He hasn't done anything wrong, really.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve to be like tricked like this by Olar Ethil.
Ethel's like gaslighting.
Yes,
gaslighting
100%. She's doing it just because she can. Yeah. I mean,
it's wild.
Yeah. She says she has a reason, but like, I don't fucking think, it's her, it's her reasoning, it's like, I need him.
Is she an elder god?
She's
like approaching their power. It feels like,
she's
if
elder.
Not one already.
Elder race at the very least,
Something I love about Olar Ethil is anytime anybody brings up a very, very, very reasonable complaint, she's like, how dare you? You've attacked me, and this is a new level that is unforeign.
This is a personal attack. Yeah.
And that's so good,
Yeah.
It's relatable. She really does need therapy, though. She really does.
I feel sorry for her,
I do too. I think there is a hole and a need for therapy in this world.
Well, they all need
that doesn't exist.
They all need to see a psychiatrist. Josh, you were right. This is the part where they talk to Tellerist and Curdle about all of their stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in talking about Tellerist and Curdle, we learn a lot about them here. And what did you think about learning a little bit more or hearing this conversation about them?
It's I think everything that we've been kind of waiting for. They're like this fun little skeleton birds hopping around causing little chaos here and there. But they always did say like they have such like a conflated like sense of self that it's like why. So it was fun to hear a little bit more about them, I thought. What do you guys think, AJ?
No, yeah, I totally agree. I think it's fun to see their like supposedly unearned confidence in their like power and stuff to be like, oh no, actually they are like super powerful to the point where they're like, if they took a bigger form, then they would be destroyed. I don't know. It's cool. I think it's cool to see, like, usually when we get these types of reveals, it's like, God, I don't even know. I can't even think of who we got this kind of reveal for. I guess finding out like Bug is male or something. Like, we don't really get a whole lot of, like, we know Bug's up to something or whatever, and then it's like, oh, Bug is male, whoa. But with Tellerist and Curdle, like, we have known for a while that they are like more than what they seem.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's just like the most protracted version of this, it's like we see them turn into dragons for a moment when the deck reading happens earlier in the book, and to find out that like, oh no, they like are Elaint. Like that is their true form or whatever. I don't know. It's just fun to see that stuff confirmed, I guess, through the eyes of a person who was like around when they were. So I like it.
I just wanted to share, I recently was talking about Soul-Taken Divers, and I kind of forgot the origin, or I don't know, it's all blur, to learn a little bit more about the origin of them as like a thing here, which is so cool. And it's like a classic moment of like, I don't know, this is just a type of world building I love and really resonates with me, and I just find really engaging and exciting, where not only is it like explaining the origin of what it is, and it like come from Decemblockless, but it's coming from this idea that like, oh, man had like the First Empire and man had so divorced themselves from nature and some sort of balance of nature or some sort of thing like that they had become so divorced that they became animals, and that they were like, oh, this is to kind of not only remind you of that you're tied to nature and that you are animals and you are nature itself, but also to make you not able to cleave yourself from like the animal element of the world. It is just, it is such a powerful thing. It really resonates with me, and I just wanted to shout out that moment. I was really struck by it both times I reread this chapter.
Did we know that the Daragoth that like attacked Icarium is supposedly Decemblockless? Or are there more than one Decemblockless, or are there more than one Daragoth? So I believe the sentence specifically said his form, the Daragoth. And I was like, well, that word "the" is doing some heavy lifting, because if he was a Daragoth,
well, but the Daragoth are divers, so there's like 7 of them into one.
Yeah, but we had that. You know, he was that in the book. I don't know, fucking.
Yeah, he was them. He was the Daragoth.
Yeah, like was that Destin Balaka's the original divers? That's what I'm asking. So that's a big reveal.
My understanding is that the Daragoth predate Decembaclus. However, I'm not 100% sure. I was desperately trying to remember the name Dejum-Nabral. That's the hole I went down. Who is not really related to this, just as like also in this melange.
That's the big guy that Malazan Galani injures and doesn't get killed
that's
by.
Kind of part of Malazan Galani's intro.
Yeah. God, that scene is so sick.
Man,
you're right. He is not the Daragoth in general.
So much stuff going on, you know. But,
I'm mixing it up. Sorry, I forgot the Daragoth were the big shadow hounds. I was fully thinking. I misunderstood what you were saying. I was thinking of the thing that Terralac Veed was like tricked Akarium into fighting that knocked him unconscious. I thought it was called a Daragoth, but it's definitely not.
Wasn't that a Fork Sale? No, sorry, I'm thinking of something else.
It was like a pack of beasts. It was like a whole thing. I thought it started with a D.
Dejum-Nabral, isn't that what it's
That's what it is.
About?
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to remember the name of it too. All right, sorry, really went down a rabbit hole there, but a really cool section.
They were both in the same book, though, I believe. The Daragoth and the
they were, and they both start with the letter D and are related to divers
and connected to the first. So a lot of stuff, but
I've actually got to go.
So Olar Ethil talks to Torrent about. There's a lot of talk about allies and whether they're going to be allies with Tellers and Curdle and the intersection of their. India, what did you make of that conversation between them and this like kind of alliance? Like what's going on with Torrent here and Tellers and Curdle?
I think that Torrent has already decided that he's going to be friends and work with Tellers and Curdle, and is kind of very quickly getting over Olar Ethil's shit, like, which is fair. Even like sassing her back and like saying mean things to her too now. Like they have a very I'd say unhealthy thing going on. But I do think that he has made it clear he's going to work with Tellers and Curdle and get them out of whatever animal bodies they're in and into people bodies. I think that's what he's saying he's going to do with them. Am I right?
I have no comment.
Does anybody agree with that? Or a body that's not a skeleton bird?
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's my understanding. Honestly, I would never align with Tellers and Curdle. They seem unhinged at the very best and very clearly only looking out for themselves and like but like not even hiding it. Like they're not like, oh no, like, well, they kind of are, but it's like, if you believe them, you're stupid. Like they're like, yeah, but we like will run fucking shit and kill everyone around you. Like we're not fucking kidding. But like, yeah, let's help you out.
Yeah.
So I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
But
agreed.
Who am I?
What do y'all think about Olar Ethil's this moment here where she says like is getting angry at Torrent because he doesn't understand that she's like trying to save humanity or whatever. And he says, if to save us, Olar Ethil, means holding prisoner the souls of the T'lan Imass, then as a pathetic mortal, I tell you, it's too much. Free them, leave us to die. And she says, you would speak for all humanity, last of the all, you who dream only of an end. Well, what do you think of that? I think that's kind of interesting.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I think it's awesome to see Torrent be like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, like, who are you to enslave one people to save another? Like, why is one group of people worth
also
saving
like your
over another?
own people?
Yeah, seriously.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of a race traitor.
Wow.
I didn't want to say it, India, but
I do. But I'm like not kidding. Like she kind of is.
All right. It's time. I think we should move on. And I'd be curious, Josh, you made an awesome point earlier when you're contrasting seeing Tool from different perspectives in the Barghast and now seeing those different perspectives within the T'lan Imass.
That was me.
That was AJ.
That was AJ.
That's so
I love that point, Josh. And I would just be curious if you had you or AJ, if any of these other T'lan Imass who we're kind of seeing from in this chapter kind of stood out to you. We speak Namkala, Ulag Tugtil, Cult or Model. I'm kind of rushing through some of these names.
Are you trying to vomit?
What any thoughts? Kebral Korish?
Okay. I'll say first and foremost, when Cabral comes in and is just like, this reminds me of my battle with the Order, I was like, I'm out. I do not care about the Order of the Red Spire. You could not do anything to make me care about them. And then it's like, actually, it's just 3 people. And I hurt one with a beard, and I was like, oh, well, just 3 of them? Sounds pretty strong. And I was really shocked. I was almost excited about it. And I was like, stop it. Because I'm never going to hear about this Red Spire again. And then I was out of it for the rest of them. Especially the dude who was like, these Kajajima killed my people. We should be going after. I was like, this is stupid. What they thought about Tool was fine. But as, people, the T'lan Imass, there are too many of them. They're the new Malazan soldiers, in my opinion.
AJ, any thoughts?
No, I mean, in terms of comparing it to the Barghast and stuff, not really. I don't have many thoughts about that specifically, really. Nothing more than like what I said originally with the Namkala stuff. But like, I always love just like a supposedly non-consequential lore drop, especially when it's about a bone dude fighting 3 other guys. Cool. The first guy, Kebral Korish, does mention Olar Ethil also, who's basically just like, I don't give a fuck what Olar Ethil's up to. She can go eat rocks. Which I thought was great because I also think that Olar Ethil can go eat rocks. Yeah, but I think it's cool to see them all kind of pledge themselves in various degrees or not pledge themselves to Tool.
It's interesting he's just such a compelling figure, though, that they're all like, well, I gotta see what he does. At a minimum.
At least. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also do think it's funny that like we haven't, we haven't seen T'lan Imass brought together in large numbers since book 3 when they were all like freed, devoured by Idkovian, not devoured by, and freed by Idkovian. Yeah.
Silverfox is still alive, right?
Yes.
Just
Does she
chilling
live in that
somewhere.
world, or is she not in that world where she put everyone?
I don't think she's there. I think she's on this world.
Yeah, Idkovian like freed the T'lan Imass. He took their suffering and let them pass on. But Silver Fox is still just alive, as far as I know, and just like
Pete, can you tell us right now? Is Silver Fox going to be in the next book?
I have no comment.
That's a yes.
I'll look it up. India, look it up for me.
You literally will
Wow.
look it up.
Okay, do not.
So you're saying she is?
All you have to do is go on that where I've done all of my
Malazan wiki.
The Malazan wiki.
All right.
Crippled God is right there.
I have made mine. Anyway, I've spoken before, but I will just want to say that India, did any of these T'lan Imass catch your eye?
I hate the T'lan Imass. I hate their sections, and I don't hate them. Okay, wait.
I could read a whole book of T'lan Imass stuff.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I just
like
feel
if we got a Midnight Tides for T'lan Imass. Sorry, continue.
There's a lot going on. Too much going on. But also like I don't like the way they talk. It bores me.
I get that.
And that's really what it comes down to.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to say you're all wrong. There's one good one, and you all are looking over this guy. I say Ulag, you say Tugtil, Ulag,
Tugtil,
Ulag,
Tugtil.
All right, we are not as stoked on Ulag as me, but baby, love the name. My guy, Ulag Tugtil.
Wait, is that
the Trailblood guy?
Well, she thinks he has trail blood, but
He has big tusks.
Yeah.
Just wanted to shout out my guy, Ulag Tugtil. Top shelf name. Top shelf name.
I like Namkala.
You think just the name is...
Namkala is a better name.
I feel like Namkala sounds too much like Ken Lava to me.
Well, but that sounds like a naming convention, Namkala.
Never into one of those.
Okay.
It's really the nom.
All right.
So wait, it was just the name, Pete? That was what you loved so much about Ulag Tugtil?
I love many things about Ulag Tugtil.
I'm gonna say it, AJ. I like the way you say it, and the name is growing on me.
Should we just switch over to ASMR?
Yeah.
Ulag Tugtil.
Today
that has awakened something.
The Dust of Dreams appendix.
All right.
Usually into cult.
We're almost there. We are now over 2 hours of recording.
Or is he cult anal?
So, did you just say anal, Josh?
Yeah, cult anal.
Called anal.
So India, Draconis and Ubala meet up with some of the Barghast, and Sakara the Vile is there, and Draconis kind of puts her down, if I may borrow a phrase.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she was like pretty fucked, honestly. That was a mercy killing if I've ever heard of one.
Yeah.
She's pretty out of it.
Why was she like that? What happened to her?
It's kind of a hangover from the whole like battle that kind of happened.
Battle of the Barghast stuff?
The Barghast and the Acronai.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a Barghast. And it got
So he killed finally all of the Barghast.
Yeah, and it got real
Officially.
It got real cold.
Well, not all, because then quite after this scene in which we're seeing kind of the last, we do cut to Strahl, and he's kind of leading some of the other ones. But there are other Barghast around. But of those specific white-faced Barghast from this Barghast storyline, the numbers are quite few. That's correct.
Well, they had it coming.
They had it coming.
Wow.
They had it coming. They only had themselves to blame.
Murder to see that. As the night gets later, we get worse and worse at staying on track.
We're doing literary analysis. Okay.
So Draconis and Ublala find Rolata and Sakara. He kills Sakara. That's so crazy. And then what is that?
So crazy.
We have another group. We've added Rolata to the mix. Right? They're all going together now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going toward...
And Ubala shares various nicknames for his large penis.
Yeah.
As one does. Yeah.
And then we see a bit of them, and then we are moving towards the end of the chapter where we are touching in with some of the pirate stuff, the Shirkalal, Falash kind of sailing. They talk about the privilege that Falash has, the end of money, what's going on in Lether, and then also encounter some other stuff. And they talk about mail.
I'm begging you to stop touching your mic. I'm begging you. Take your hand off the arm, because it's impossible to edit around.
So, AJ...
Thank you.
What do you think of this pirate storyline?
Yarhar, I'm ready. I love it. I always love being on the high seas. I don't know. I forgot Shirkalal was in this book, so it was nice to come back to her. It hasn't been that long since we've seen her, but it's nice to have her back. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting, this conversation about like, are T'Hull and Janeth just going to become the thing that they are seeking to take down? Is like, I don't know. That's kind of something that I've thought also, which I think the books make you want to think about, because we see Rulad come in and the system eats him. So it's like, what makes T'Hull and Janeth different? Which, like, I think there's a lot of stuff that makes them different from Rulad coming in. Them not being possessed by an evil sword is on that list.
They are possessed by evil capitalism.
Ooh, or are they, India? Because they're self-aware of it, Like, can they reclaim it?
Oh my God. 2023, we're reclaiming capitalism. Okay.
Yeah.
It's called a recession.
But no, I mean, I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation, but it does feel like it's just one of those conversations that, like, sometimes the book is like, how about this philosophical thing? And then we just kind of talk about that for a little bit. And it's like, that stuff's always interesting, but it doesn't leave me feeling a type of way. I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is a thing to think about, and then we move on. Yeah. And then we move on, and it's fine. Like, I like the parts. They're good parts. And then we move on.
Yep. And that's it.
All right.
That's it.
Maybe we should wrap it up. I feel like we've gotten really late. I'm sorry. Shirkalal, I'm sorry. We're not.
There wasn't much to say more about.
It was a pretty quick scene.
Yeah.
Shirk, I'm so sorry.
And the Falash goes to talk to the handmaiden who was like faking being seasick for reasons.
They want to see Mail. They got to talk to Mail.
And then there's a storm.
And we'll pick up. We don't know. We don't know what that conversation's going to bring.
Mm-hmm.
Excited for
There's a storm ahead.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do know.
Okay. I will just share. I am really trying to Google about the dog statues. And it is a really tough Google. Tune in next week, everyone. We will be wrapping up Dust of Dreams.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Book 9 in the
Thank
can.
you.
A lot of exciting stuff.
Yeah, I can't even guess where this book's gonna end.
Not at all.
And I'm glad because I'm not asking for predictions.
Nice.
Nice.
What I am doing is saying thank you all for being here. I really enjoyed hosting this with you, PB. When I say come, you say passion. Come.
Passion.
Hello, everybody. Producer AJ here, recording the credits in this room one final time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. Sorry there were no chapter summaries. We had some production troubles and weren't able to get them in time for the edit, but they'll be back next week. If you'd like to give us your thoughts or feelings about this or any of our episodes, you can always email us 10verybigbooks@gmail.com, tweet us at 10verybigbooks, or you can head on over to Discord, bit.ly/VBB Discord. That's capital V, capital B, capital B, capital D, Discord. That link will also be in the show notes. Thank you to all of our wonderful patrons over on Patreon. If you'd like to financially support the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/10verybigbooks. That link will also be in the show notes. And as always, thank you so very much to Dan Geserick for making our spectacular cover art. You can follow him on Twitter at @A_W_Dan G for radio silence after the Philadelphia Eagles tragically lost the big game. We're right there with you, Dan. Thank you as well to resident, holy shit, that's so fucking cool, I cannot believe you've done that, Scout Wilkinson, for the special art she will be providing for this season. It's about to get wild, y'all. I hope you are prepared. You can follow her at twitter.com/humblegoat. And of course, the wonderful music in today's episode, including the remixed intro and outro track, is by the one, the only Amaranthan from his album Simulant Rain, which you can find along with his other music on bandcamp.com. Links to their pages will be in the show notes. And 10 Very Big Books will be back in 2 weeks on March 3rd, talking about the finale of Dust of Dreams, chapters 22, 23, and 24. I'll talk to you then, and thank you so much for listening.
You know, my dad friends, unprompted at a recent D&D session, did really talk about how as they've gotten older, they only watch MILF videos. I was like, I don't need to know this about my future.
Hey, you know what? I would rather that than they tell you the alternative.
Yeah, well, that's
What's
I
a MILF
agree.
video?
Like, they only watch like videos of people their age.
Pornography,
now.
India.
Yeah. Mom, I'd like to fuck.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that that's what you were talking about.
Yes. Just like
I
a
didn't think we were
DILF.
gonna
You've
is a
clearly
dad
never
I'd like
hung
to
out
fuck.
with the boys, India.
Yeah.
You've never had a fun night with
No.
the boys.
I definitely have not.
that song Stacy's Mom Has Got It Going On?
Yes.
She's a MILF.
MILF porn.
Yes.
Yes.
Like the pool boy,
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, sure.
the pizza man,
Mm.
the mailman,
Yeah.
the milkman.
Yeah, Josh, I'm really glad that one of your guys wasn't like, I'm super into that stepsister stuff. I love that.
Dude, I've
It's the
told
most
Peter
watched porn.
Well,
I've
most
told you
watched
guys
porn.
It's because
Very
they keep
troubling
making
fact.
it, man.
I've told you guys about my problematic boss at the concession stand that showed me how to do coke, right? That's in a recording now. He also one time really went into depth on what he watches, and it was the most... I was like so unbelievably uncomfortable. I was like, I never needed to know that was a category
Wow.
Josh,
or that you were into it.
Josh, how does this conversation keep coming up?
I don't know.
You're the common
Dude's
denominator here.
crazy.
Are you always just talking? Do you,
All right.
do you start conversations with, so I was cranking it the other night.
That soldier boy.
All right,
Just
let's-
always
let-
doing the soldier boy, and people keep misunderstanding me. I'm just doing the dance.
All right, let's.
Now
let's-
they do say Superman them hoes, so there is a little.
Wow,
sexual
Josh,
element
Superman, that hoe.
there.
Okay.
Is it that hoe?
I think it's them hoes.
I think it's them hoes. Soldier Boy
Superman
over there.
that. No, I think it might be Superman that hoe.
I think it's that.
Superman that hoe.
I think you're right. I'm looking on Genius. Technically, Genius says Superman that but we know what Mr. Boy was really saying.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely do know. All right.
Let's do it.
Do we need any refreshers?
No, I'm looking at it. I just listened to this chapter an hour ago or so. So
Yeah, I did not listen to these chapters again after last week, so I'm like so.
I'm
just
busy reading all of the genius notes
I'm
on
flying by the
Soulja Boy.
seat of my pants. That's so funny.
There's not a lot of notes, I'm gonna be honest. He's made it very clear that he doesn't say ho.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I'll take him at his word.
Sure. We don't disparage women in this house. We just Superman them.
He's an ally.
In the most respectful way.
Yeah.
Well, is Superman anything but respectful?
No.
In fact,